feel like a lot of us get trapped in the thought that, we're waiting to feel like we're ready for stuff rather than creating the feeling. I think a lot of us fail to realize that, you know, you're enough now. And in saying that, I mean, like, the difference between your past self, your future self, and your present is nothing. Who you are now and who you were back then, is still represented in your actions now. Not to say that if you were a bad person in your past, you're stuck being a bad person, but in the same way that you're connected to your past, you're connected to your future. That means you have ample time, ample resources, and the vision, the mentality to get yourself in that position. I keep saying this in my videos, but like half of success is putting yourself in a place where you think that you can. And I think, when it comes to getting that motivation, discipline, and drive, it's about forward thinking. Imagining how you'll feel in a situation and bringing that to the now, because you can do it now. It's about how you feel about it now, how you continue to feel about it until it comes to you. Like, I think it's real easy to get caught up in, the idea that you have to wait for everything to align. You have to wait for everything to get to the point where, you don't even have to try. But I think most of the not trying aspect of it is putting yourself in a place that you already have it. It's sort of like the whole like fake it till you make it, but in a sense that, you know, not allowing yourself to worry too much about what's yet to come, not allowing yourself to worry about how you're going to get there, just focusing on the fact that you're moving forward and focusing on the fact that you're just appreciating all that's around you. I feel like when you take a step back from your mind, take a step back from your thoughts, and allow yourself to just experience life for what it is and be appreciative of what you see, things work themselves out in ways you can't even believe. I think constant mental effort and constant thought doesn't inherently contribute to the progressive realization of any goal or anything like that. I always talk about how it's more important how you feel about it. And if you can control your thoughts to link to your feelings, that's great too. But if you can't get on top of your thoughts, my main recommendation would be meditation. When I started meditating, at first I was just doing it just because it was something to do. I'm not gonna lie, it was quarantine. That's what everybody was doing, sort of, I guess. But just put myself in a place of there's no point not to get better, right? There's no point not to move forward. If I find some inconsistency, something I'm not really resonating with within myself, it's about taking those steps to mitigate that without depreciating yourself. Because I feel like a lot of us, I don't know, a lot of us who are into self improvement and stuff like that vest our value in self worth and how we are doing, in terms of the grand scheme rather than how we're doing right now. It's about appreciation of the self now. Like in saying you are enough now, I'm saying that, there is no past self to overcome and there is no future self that exists right now. The only way you can get to that ideal future self is by putting yourself in that position now. Whether or not you can see it in the physical world, the physical reality, doesn't matter. It's about whether or not you can see it up here. You know, all great things start with an idea. All great things start with a vision, a mindset, and a realization that you have to go out there and get it in one way or another. And I don't mean go out and get it like, oh, you have to run, you have to stress yourself out to just improve yourself or to get what you want, but you have to be intentional about it. You have to have intention towards it. Like, hold it firmly in your head, not necessarily be, even if you don't believe in like manifestation and stuff like that, just holding it in your head allows you to have that sort of mentality whenever opportunities do arise. Like every time I don't even know what I did, but I definitely like in my head imagine how I would feel, if my channel was doing good. Just resonated with that feeling. If everything in my life was working out, I imagine how I would feel if that was the case. And I brought that feeling in. I intentionally tried to feel that way until it became commonplace, until it became, that's just the way I feel. It's also about growing with your goals, realizing, you know, you be realistic at first. I was super, I was halfway realistic with my mental goals, but you don't have to always be that pessimist to yourself. I feel like you can be optimistic with yourself sometimes, especially if you truly believe you can. If you can get into that feeling, you can get whatever you're trying to get. Within reason, within some reason. That's a pretty blanket statement, but in general, the more you allow yourself to think of your goal, the more you allow yourself to think of, just the feeling of achieving that. Whenever things happen that will allow you to get into that position, you're gonna be all the more confident, all the more secure to put yourself in that position. You are enough now. It's saying that you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait to feel good about your art and success. You don't have to wait to feel good about how your thing is. It's not necessarily about how others feel about it. It's about how you feel about it. I always think it's more important to put your own connotation on your own work and own drive and own self before anyone else can. Anyone else's connotation, anyone else's prescription of you is going to be false. To an extent, they don't know your internal workings. They can only see the 1%, the external you, your expressions, your reactions. But there's so much more that goes into that. There's a deep history within each and every one of us, a complex life within every single one of us. And most people can't acknowledge that. Most people don't see that. So why are you listening? You know, and saying that it's about how you feel, it is about how you feel. How can you expect other people to appreciate what you do if you don't appreciate it? How can you expect other people to appreciate you if you don't appreciate yourself? What you have is what you can give. And I guess in some way, what you can receive. You know, that's why they say, like, you have to fill yourself up before you go on filling other people up. You have to learn to love yourself before you truly learn to love someone else. I feel like a lot of our love is born out of somewhat insecurity, whether that be love for something or love for someone. I feel like sometimes we get caught up in idea that, we're supposed to be shown our value. We're supposed to be shown the things that make us worthwhile. When in reality, it's about how you show yourself or how you're teaching yourself that you're worth it, how you're expressing your own worth through your own actions. Moving forward within yourself, but standing still in reality. It's kind of, I don't know, kind of a difficult thing to articulate, but the more I think about it, the more I realize that who we are is pretty fluid. You know, the only stability we have is going to be our mindset and who we aim to be. You know, running without directions got to get you somewhere. Maybe not where you want though. You know, so it's about holding firmly in your head. Not necessarily where you want to go. Not necessarily. It doesn't have to be 100% detailed, but at least know how you want to feel. And I'm not saying that just to chase the feeling. Because that's one thing. Chasing a feeling and actually genuinely feeling that way. But in my experience, in just being that feeling now instead of chasing it, like, I'm not trying to get to the feeling. I am already feeling it. In doing that, more things just started to reflect that feeling. And I said it in a video before, but loving yourself so much that everything around you becomes an exemplar of that love. Being there for yourself so much that everything else starts to align for you as well. It's really about self-care and taking care of yourself. Realizing that you're the only one who can take care of yourself to the extent that you 100% know. Of course, someone can learn that. Someone can develop that. But the way we are now, who you are in this present moment without someone, or maybe even have someone, regardless, it's always important to have yourself in your corner. Always important to make sure that who's with you is always going to be with you, or always going to have your best interests at heart. And I think a lot of us sometimes do stuff that's not necessarily in our best interest out of, fear of the moment. You get caught up, and that's okay. Nobody's perfect in that sense. I think it's more important to come back from that. Realize how you're going to move forward. Oh, I did this. All right, let me lock in for a little bit. Let me, you know, do what I need to do to balance it out. Maybe even if it's just a mental balancing act. Whatever you need to do to get back to that feeling of yourself, to get back to yourself, rather than being stuck in, your inability to act or actions that didn't necessarily contribute to your goals. You are enough now. It's saying that you don't have to stress yourself out too much. I feel like part of that stress is what separates us from being where we want to be. Part of that stress is pushing us away from it. It's telling us that, oh, we're not there yet. Oh, I still have this much to do. And I think that any type of cultivation, any type of becoming you is an unstressed thing. You know, an unstressed eye sees an unstressed world. A stressed eye is gonna see more stress. What you look for, you'll find. Man sees in the world what he carries in his heart. And I think that, the stress of improvement isn't necessarily worthwhile. And in saying that, I don't mean it's not worth improving. It's not worth the stress it causes if you're taking it that way. I think any improvement in general should be done unstressed. I'm doing this for me and I'm happy to do it because I care about myself, because I want to take care of myself, because I want to be better for me. So when I get back out into this world and things arise for me and opportunities arise for me, I'll be more apt to take them because I want to experience all that I can with myself. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Um, it's been a cool week for me. I finished on my midterms. I did, you know, was I an academic weapon? Academic threat, maybe. You know, but I handle business. I hope you guys are doing the same. I know some of y'all got exams coming up. I saw in the comments and in my Discord. Um, but I hope everybody's doing okay, taking care of themselves, making sure to stay consistent with their intentions, stay consistent with their routine. Cause I just got back on my routine. I'm not gonna lie, and I feel pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little sore, but it feels good to be back. In the groove of things. I feel like a lot of us lost track in life. I feel like a lot of us get immersed in life, but not in the sense that we need to be. Like in the sense that we stop taking care of the things we need to take care of in order to experience life and have, genuine appreciation. So make sure you're being intentional. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, taking care of your goals, dreams, and aspirations. All in all, hope you guys enjoy your day, and thank you.